Uh,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So happy that you can be back with us. I don't know why I say us like it's like a whole thing. Back with
It is a
me,
whole thing.
joining me,
You're
like
a whole
for this
vibe.
opportunity. Like I'm cute a little bit. I ain't put no lashes on, but I got some lip gloss and I got a little cleavage, a little shoulder action going on.
Period.
Like, but
I
who are you
appreciate it.
in this moment? I mean, you said you changed. I mean, we're always changing. So can you just
Definitely.
tell us about that?
Yeah, so back in 2021 as okay, so who am I? I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a child of God. Um currently staying at home mom. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I do hair, special and natural hair, as you can see.
I know, looking
um, I definitely am into the motivational speaking, and I'm just pouring into different avenues. God's will, I'll be an author this year. There's a lot of things that I'm currently doing, but who am I in this season? I am really, really invested in self right now. I'm invested in bettering myself so that I can be better for my family and for the people that is around me.
yeah, you're talking about self. So like I'm all into that right now too because um like you said you're a mom, you're an entrepreneur, you're a hairstylist, and all these things. But when we're talking about focusing on ourselves, we got to think about ourselves and not those titles, though. Like the mom, that's a title. Like the the entrepreneur, that's what you do. Like, but focusing on ourselves, who we are as us, like as Shanell, as Whitney, like who are you? Um, just get well. Who am I? I'm trying to figure that out myself. Like so, yeah. Working on self is important. So those things that make you feel good,
Mm,
and the things that you do, the things that all the things basically, but
mm,
trying to separate yourself from those because sometimes I know I struggle with that also. That's all. I'm more than just that mom and that entrepreneur, and those that's what I want to talk about with you today because I feel like you can understand because you're a mom, and the first time mom it's another level.
it
So
is,
just being that
and
and trying to figure out yourself, so
And what you're saying is, it's like, what are you? If we scratch the mom title, we scratch the wife title, we scratch the entrepreneur. I am a loving, charismatic, energetic, um, just very in tune with like my spirituality, my wisdom. I'm currently just loving on my entire self. I'm very confident. I'm bold. I am driven. I am
there we go.
loving.
There we go.
I am all these great things. Like, I am my own creation of what I want to be today and tomorrow. I thrive off of me, but I have to also say those titles because I hold those titles because I'm the queen of my castle. I call my home my palace because it is. It's my place of peace. It's my place of just community and unity. My husband, he is the king of this of this palace, and we have to, in order for us to vibe and to raise a loving son, a black American son, and no, African, because he's African and American.
Hmm.
And so we have to, in order for us to raise him the way that we want him to be, you know, and flourish out to be, we have to be good within self, and we have to be good
Yeah.
within each other too, because when I speak of myself, I also speak of my husband because he is a reflection of who I am.
And that's beautiful. And like, I just, I can't wait until that's my time. Like, I want to be like you when I grow up, you know? Like,
You're
basically, like, you talk about your husband is the king of the palace and stuff. Listen, I'm the queen and I'm going to get me one of them kings out there. Like, eventually, because I'm focusing on self right now because distractions.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah.
going to be like you, girl.
Listen, listen, listen. It's all about what's for you is for you, and what's for me is for me, and we have to be content with who we are growing to be. Like I was telling somebody the other day, we have to love people currently where they're at so we can support them for where they're going. We all have baggage. We all have things that we have to unpack and unravel. However, we have to support and love those people on that journey if we're capable of doing so, because there's a thing called boundaries, there's a thing called self-respect, there's things called values and morals and all that type of stuff that plays a part, you know
Character.
character, and that's all development. But who you are in the core will always be who you were. Like for
Mhm.
me in 2021, I was always a loving, charismatic type, energetic type of person, but I was just a little off track because I had a baby at 29, 30. I turned 30 that year, but I was 29 when I had my son. And so, with that being said, 4 or 5 months later, I'm 30 and I'm entering a whole new era of life. And that's okay, but transition is going to happen. Where there is battles, there will be blessings, as TD Jake said. And I love it because we're going to continue to have battles and blessings. And
Mhm.
I just have to understand, I had to understand and come with self and say, okay, in 2021, it was a transition. It was okay
Exactly.
that you weren't
Transition.
yourself. It was okay that you was running late to a lot of different things and you're normally not late. Or it's okay that you wasn't as organized as you normally are. It's okay because you were going through a transition. You were trying to maneuver with this new baby, turning 30, being a wife. I own my own house. Like there's a lot of things that go into being a wife, being a mother, being self, especially for me. Like myself, I hold myself at a high standard because I am a queen, and I do have to act accordingly as a queen. And sometimes as queens, we have to go back and we have to rest. And 2021, I had to literally come back to self and say, Whitney, it's time to rest. And that's what I did. I didn't work. I haven't been back to work really. And I had to come and get self together
Okay, so
so
let's
that I
talk
can
about that.
be.
Like you're talking about having to adjust with this transition, and I definitely understand, like, getting being on my second baby. Like I thought I had it all. I'm a first time mom again. Like you really don't know. Like
And then
each
you have
time
an opposite
around.
sex. Then you
Yeah,
have an opposite
exactly. So
sex.
it's totally different. So yeah, I definitely want to dive a little deeper on that in terms of being a certain person, and then having this big responsibility of raising, of birthing, and getting your body ready of birthing a child. And then you have this human being that you have to take care of now. Wow, you're trying to get yourself together, because you just had a child, but then like your emotions and everything, like all the chemicals and stuff in your body is trying to get back to baseline. So that's where that postpartum comes into play. And if you
Yes.
don't have like that
Yeah,
the
boy.
necessary like support, like it could get kind of tough because you're talking about self and putting yourself on a pedestal. And honestly, I had to get back to that because that the shit is hard. It really is. And you really
Mhm.
do have to have certain support. And I
Yeah.
mean, depending on if I mean, it don't matter how the babies got here, basically. But like, it's just all about the healing time. So I'm over here walking around limping and stuff because I didn't got cut open and then this big old big headed baby that I gotta like. I'm telling you, like it's a lot. And now you're trying to figure out how you can still be a mom, because you enjoy that. Like I really enjoy being a mother. It's the best thing in the world. But I still have to maintain who I am. And sometimes, especially the beginning of the little baby, you're trying to figure that out and just trying to keep up. Like, I don't know, just tangents, like, like mom brain. Like, I'll let you go. I'll
No,
let you continue.
no, I definitely agree with you. And fun fact, everybody, Chanel and I both have babies that were born on the same day.
Listen,
Our babies was born February 5th. There'll be one very soon. And we both had babies. She had a little girl, I had a little boy. And what she's basically saying is like postpartum is real, you know, especially when you hold yourself up at this type of pedestal. I mean, you hold yourself up at this level, you're working at this level, and then life just happens. You have a beautiful baby, and now it's transition time. Now it's getting back. And then, like she said, support. Support is very, very crucial in this. And mental health is very important too.
hmm
And I think that I could speak for myself because I'm in Georgia. And my mom and my father and most of my family is in PA, and we don't have a core support system here. We have friends here who don't mind helping out, but there's some level of trust. There's some level of um you don't really want to put your baby on somebody else and this, that, and the third. And then we're in COVID times.
that's
We
what I was just
actually
about to
have
say.
a pandemic babies. So
Everything is
we have
harder.
pandemic babies. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, I think that first we need to change the narrative, right? We need to change the narrative of postpartum just being about depression, because it's not just depression. It's not all about depression.
Mhm.
Postpartum is, I have this traumatic experience happen, and now as a woman, because I know, like, I have a husband who helps with my baby, who in the middle of the night he will support me as I'm up, and he's like, what can I do? I have an amazing husband, but that does not separate the fact that I still went through postpartum. I went through postpartum hair loss. My hair is coming back because I'm a natural stylist. Come see me. I'm Kodak Styles. But anyway, I went through that, and I had to come back to self. And it's just like so much of a transformation.
It is.
And it's just like you have to be able to transform yourself into this new being whom you or becoming. And that's why I say, if you have a faith, like if you believe in God, Buddha, whatever, or if you're Muslim, I just ask that you and your ancestors, whomever, to just allow you to align yourself up to who the woman or the person that you are destined to become. So for me, for a long time, when I was back in 2021, I would say, I, me, I can't wait to go back to being who I used to be.
And
No,
you thought
I
you were
can,
going to like, oh yeah, it's gonna be just a
right.
little
And
hurdle.
I will never be Whitney in 2022. I mean 2021
Mhm.
and 2019, 2020. That person does not exist. I have to exist with who I am today, and the values and morals that I'm being within myself. And so I made this little board of myself and who am I? I am loving. I am bold. I am vulnerable. I am an emotional person. I'm an emotional being.
Mhm.
I am, I am, filled with so much just love, and I'm very, 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 very confident. I'm this and I'm that. I have to tell myself these things because this is who I am.
Okay.
But there's days where I'm not this person, you know?
I mean,
And
you
it
are. It's just a little hard to keep up with that because life just happens. You were saying how you just said that that you're a different Whitney.
Mhm,
That person in 2021 doesn't exist.
mhm,
So I wanted to touch on that a little bit because I honestly feel that we are every part of who we are or who we were. We just evolved. We just gained that extra little branch. Like, now
right.
you're a mom, you got this baby. Like, so now, like, yeah, that's another route that you're taking. But like at the end of the day, like that base of a tree in those roots, I think everything that has come to you, everything that you've been through is a part of you. And that's just your way of growing and sprouting and having that. Now you have that wisdom to evolve because whatever you had went through that helped you get to this point, you know what I mean? So now
Mm,
you're more experienced and you can recognize in that moment how you were and how you were able to grow now, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's still a part of you and it needed to happen. And everything is for a purpose, so you
everything
needed to
is.
grow through that certain situation to get to where you are now and can appreciate how far you came, because back then
Yes.
it's hard to kind of keep on the path because like it's blurry, there's so much stuff going on. But I think Steve Harvey said this. I'm going to butcher how he said it, but he was basically saying, um why would you stop in hell? Because you know how people feel
Oh, yep,
bad.
yep,
I'm
yep,
like,
yep.
you know what,
You might as well keep going.
you also, yeah, it's like, why would you stop in hell? I was like,
Yeah, and you know what? Let me correct myself. I know that every phase in life is definitely going to contribute to each new phase that I'm going to go, because we're all in seasons. You have a winter season, you have a spring, you have a fall, you have a summer.
mhm,
And they're all meant to come and go, right? They don't always last forever. But there is, no, I'm not even gonna say but, however, there is a part of us who say things as such, and I'm referring to myself, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to get back to the body that I used to have, and I'm going to get this way. And my body is different. I have beauty marks on my stomach now. You know what I'm saying? I don't call them stretch marks, I call them beauty marks because I produced a beautiful
womb marks,
boy.
the mother womb. Listen, like
Listen,
I'm a whole beauty mark. Like I'll just
yes,
say that.
period. So for me, I know I have to be realistic with myself. And that's me being realistic with myself and saying that I had to mourn my old self in order to get to who I am today. And I'm going to say that again. I had to mourn my old self to get to where I am at today and where I'm going to for tomorrow.
And I love that because listen, when you said that, I was thinking like, all right, you have to mourn yourself. So in every moment that we're in, this is why we have to appreciate and be grateful for what we have, because it's going to change. Like as we get older, things are going to change. So like when we didn't have kids, of course, and we were thinking about like, my little pouch and all of this, like, oh my God, listen, I wish I could appreciate that. Like, I was
Listen,
not, I did not have a stomach. Like,
yep.
really?
Look, and
So
now you really
yeah,
got one. Yeah.
exactly. So you're like, dang, like I didn't appreciate what I had in that moment, I mean, but obviously that still comes with age. So I think that that's where we can help other people to appreciate where they are and realize how blessed that they are right now, how grateful. So definitely.
Grateful is such a powerful word.
Mhm.
It's very powerful. We have to be grateful for every season. Every season is going to produce different fruits, different values, different morals, everything, and I think that when we think about how we woke up this morning, we are breathing. There's a lot of people in this pandemic not waking up and not being able to spend time with their children and their families and stuff like that. So we're definitely living in a time where we have to be truly grateful for where we're at. And once I started to get myself back, I realized how much it means to be grateful. Just for the little stuff. I appreciate my little pouch. Now, have I been working on it? Yes, but I'm not going crazy and saying, um, oh my goodness, I am just so ashamed of this. And at one point in time, I was ashamed of my belly because this wasn't my normal. It wasn't. I never had this pouch, this low pouch, none of that. But you know what? I bared a child for almost 10 months, feel like.
Is this
He
the
was
power of
overdue.
a woman, like that nobody else can do. Like you
Exactly.
literally gave life. It happens. Like it's a hard as job task
It
to
is.
give life. Like so this is what I'm left with. I'm still healthy in here and I've been birthed a healthy human being. Like
That part.
but it
That
takes
part.
some time to get to that, and that's why you have to train your mind. Like mindsets, like your mindset shift is so important. And I want to start, focusing and teaching and just like empowering other
Yes.
women about
Yes.
how important it is to change your mind, because you can switch it up in everything that you do. People with the postpartum is like all this stuff like, am I a good mom and all these other things, but just being grateful that you even have a baby. Some people it's so hard to have a baby, and you're listen, we're just all on different journeys, like, like
No,
so
I love it. I love it. I love how you felt that. You had to feel that moment because there's women who cannot have babies or keep having rainbow babies and can't celebrate until they're like 8 months because they need to make sure that they can keep their baby.
mhm,
And that's very powerful because there's a lot of women out here, especially African American women. We are suffering in silence because we're not talking about the babies that we lost, you know, and we have to go into, yes, we pray for our babies. We prayed for the babies that we had in our wombs. And how dare we self hate when we produce such a beautiful being. Like, it's like, wow, mindset is everything. Like you said, I say my daily affirmations. I say I am enough. I am a wonderful mother. I am a wonderful person. I am, who God has destined me to be because I am what I say that I am. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? And there's so much power in the tongue. And just from you saying that, you really touched me because it's like, we need to, as women, support each other during these times and understand that they, even going through postpartum versus what's it called, when menopause, a lot
mhm,
of women, older women, are experiencing menopause and they're not talking about it because it's such a hard topic for them. They're going through all these different hormones. We experience that, but it's just called postpartum.
mhm.
Our bodies is changed and we had children.
Yeah. So this is why I needed you on here because lately I've been growing through it. Like
Listen, that's all we doing
I've
is growing through
been
it.
growing through it and it is hard. It really is. So I think that we have to recognize that it's hard. You know what I mean? But in those moments,
Blessing in
being
battles.
okay with being in that moment. Like, if I'm sad and if I like, don't feel like it today, that's fine. I'll as long as I get back up and try again the next day, it might not like it might be too much for me. So like right now, doing so many great things, but still trying to be present for two kids now. And then when I had just Bryce, we could do whatever. It's just one person. So now I have this little girl and you have to tend to this baby, and you're trying to make time for both, like, equally, like, so that
Mhm.
they're both getting that same love. So then you got to be mindful of what you're pouring into these little ones, but then you got to also be mindful of all the things that you're growing through in that moment as well. So I mean,
Mm.
imposter syndrome, and I'll definitely say that imposter syndrome, but it's really
Imposter syndrome is
me
literally
versus me.
real.
Like, you really are your own competition. So
You're
and so
standing in your own
uh,
way. We
exactly.
all are.
Hmm.
We all are standing in our own way.
There's just so many different levels of how we could like talk about the body. But like our brain, how it operates can be kind of like a machine, and it wants to keep us safe. So like anything that's uncomfortable, or that they don't like, we can't figure out right now, we get afraid. And then like that fear just continues to just like bring us down and down, and then like you're realizing like, well, what are you afraid of?
And it makes you ask this question: what's more powerful, love or fear?
Exactly. And do you want to stay in this moment? Because the only thing that's stopping you is fear. You have to recognize that you're going to have that. Like, you're going to be like fearful of different things, but you have to do it afraid so that you can get to that other point. And say with repetition, it gets a little better. So I'm not there yet. Like, I still do everything afraid. Like, it's not like
I personally believe that when you change the way the words mean, instead of looking at failure as, oh, I'm scared to fail. No, anybody who's an entrepreneur didn't fail. In order for us to grow, we have to make mistakes. We have to fail. That's just the realistic part of this life, right?
mhm,
But we have to change the way we think about fear
failing.
and failure. We have to create a relationship with fear. I personally, and this is me talking about something that I've done, and I don't know if you mind doing it or anybody who's listening to this podcast mind doing it, but I personally wrote a letter to fear. I had to write a letter to my fears because fear is always going to coexist with us. Fear is supposed to protect us from things that is going to potentially harm us, but we have to really keep fear nearby, but and close, but not too close to the point where it's hindering us to be in the driver's seat and drive, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
So, me writing a letter to fear, it actually changed my mindset of how I perceive fear personally. And me, I'm just like on some, let's deal with it. Let's have our time. Okay, so Whitney, you're afraid of this. Why? Why are you afraid of it? Oh, because it's going to make people look at you this way? Or are you really caring about the people? No, let's think about this. Is it going to take you out of your comfort zone? Is that really what it is? Is it really going to make you grow? Is it going to make you work harder? Is it going to make you
Mhm.
answer questions that,
Challenge yourself.
is it going to really challenge yourself? Or is there something great at the end of that and I'm just enabling my greatness? So I
Mhm.
just said, okay, well, let's go. Let's
Exactly. And you
go.
get hyped. So like changing your mindset, like, sometimes like, all right, fear can feel the same as excitement. Like, when you feel that, like, so when you could just start getting hyped, like, oh, because some of my dreams, I get afraid because they're just so damn big. And it's like, Chanel, like, it's gonna have you definitely stepping out of your comfort zone, but like you can do this. So I'm like, dang, like, all right, well, come on, let's do it then. Like, but you got to train yourself to do that, and instead of like falling back. So
Yeah, like you said, do it afraid. And, just know that in order to grow in this lifetime, you have to be open to receive. So that means that you have to clear out that clutter. You have to clear, and a lot of people are so stuck in their own mind that they don't even know that they're stuck. But the thing about the world is just keep moving. It keeps going. It keeps going. The sun
no
is always
matter
going to come
what.
up. The sun is going to come up. Right now, the world is spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning at its miles per hour that it's spinning at. But we feel like we're standing still or we're sitting still, but we're really not. We're continuously moving, and that's okay because we have to have that perspective of we gotta keep moving. We gotta keep moving.
Listen, you better tell them. Like, you gotta keep moving. And then there's this thing that they said days are long, but years come by so quickly. And I was just like, wow, like that is true, because you really be trying every day, and then you look up and look back and it's like 6 months then passed. Although it's the day we know is gonna for sure keep coming, we gotta also think about it as just look at the world, the life that we live. Like when you thinking deep into some shit, it's like we're really floating on like a rock. Like we really get the opportunity each day, 24 hours, however many seconds and stuff, like each day to like live our life to the fullest. But when I say the fullest, I mean like to really enjoy it, to really try. Because like
Mhm.
when you say if like there, I'm not I'm not putting this in the air, but I'm just giving an example. Like I don't know if you saw that movie Don't Look Up on Netflix, but it's
I
like it's a
have. Mm.
meteor that's coming to the earth and stuff. So it's just like, say if we only had like a couple of days left to live. If you're looking back at your life, would you be proud of where you are? That would you feel proud and be able to say like I really tried, like I really gave this shit all I had. So
Mm.
that's where I'm trying to be at. Like there's no there's no definition, or there's no way anybody can be perfect. So we got to stop trying to be perfect and be excellent. So excellence over perfection is my new
Mhm.
model. Just trying to be as do and be and feel as best that we can, so that like when I'm old and stuff in my rocking chair, like I got all the wisdom. I'll be like, listen, your grandma, she did it all. And then we'll have all of these things based off of what I did, and going hard and outliving my dreams, and just keep pushing forward so that I can
Yeah.
get to where we all need to be. Like, but that was
And
a couple tangents, but
no, that wasn't a tangent.
okay.
I feel like you're definitely expressing the way that you are desiring to live out your life and play out your life. You're saying, hold up, I'm watching movies that's saying like stuff is coming to earth and doing stuff. I need to buckle up because if I was to go today, this is how I want my legacy to be for my children or for whomever was to read about me, and I totally agree. I feel like we all are creating legacies and we're all creating generational wealth, not for just our children, but for their children and for the next generation, And I think this is why we will be successful. We
Mhm.
are successful. We're going to look back a year or two from now at this podcast and be like, wow, look at us. Now we're billionaires
Mhm.
because we are speaking life into us. We have to continue to pour into ourselves and speak life within ourselves and see the greatness of ourselves so that when we look back, we can say, wow, we thought we were great then, but look at us now. You know,
Exactly.
and our children is going to see it. Our children is going to witness it. And by you wearing so many hats, they say millionaires typically wear so many hats, right? We have this car business, we have this food truck business, we have this salon business, we have this book business, we have all these different businesses because you have different multi-million dollar, seeds. But in order for a seed to grow, you have to place it in the right environment. And what you're doing right now is you're surrounding yourself around people who are seeing themselves in a light, because we all have light within us.
Mhm.
If you're biblical, right? We all have that light that shines through us, but it's just a matter on if we turn it on or we turn it off, and we know that it's there and present. And so with you, I think that, what your whole system of thinking, I believe that you're going to go places and it's going to take you very far because you are thinking outside of the box. You are literally living and growing through everything.
Mhm. And taking that pause, like when you need it, because like as we continue on this journey, a lot of us, like, we have baggage, like, so as we're going, well, some of the stuff we gotta drop off, we don't need it no more, but also like how the seed, it has to be placed in the right environment, and then also like it has to continue to be nourished, and us continuing to speak about how we really feel about certain things, shedding light, empowering other people to be okay with any emotion that they feel is okay. It's just after you feel that, you have to start putting in place those skills to have that positive outlook so that you don't continue to bring yourself down.
And then, too, a lot of people don't really allow themselves to cry, to weep, to to experience a loss. I'm People automatically feel like when they lose something or something doesn't work out, it's just, oh, chuck it up. You're going to do the next. No, allow yourself to feel that emotion. Emotion is what brings you to the next level.
I'm telling you.
When we came out, I was listening to a sermon, and then he was just saying it's so wonderful. He was just saying how we came out of our mom's womb crying, most of us, right? And when we don't come out of our mother's womb crying, they smack us on the back to see why or see if you can cry.
Hmm.
And it's just like when we're entering a new dimension, when we're going into a new space, we have to we have to cry. We have to weep. We have to have a weeping period.
Feel
But
those
God has
emotions.
always said to us that joy is going to come in the morning, you know? And you have to understand that joy is always going to come around, but we have to have 15 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe detox or, fast for a week. Most people in the Bible or who go through things, they fast and don't even know why they're fasting when something happens, right? They can't eat, they can't sleep, they just be fasting, right?
Hmm.
But they're relieving all that. They're letting it go. They're releasing it.
Hmm.
And we have to release things. We have to get used to releasing things. And that's something that I cannot wait for my son when he's old enough to comprehend certain stuff. I'm going to instill that in him. Son, it's okay to let things go. And it's okay to understand that death is inevitable. Everybody has their time and everybody must go. So, you know, with all that being said, knowing that people must go and things must go, we have to understand that hurt, in order to release that hurt, it has to be heard.
Hmm.
Has to be heard. And you have to allow it to let go.
And then you just want to drop your mic right there.
can't
because
stand
she been
treats.
spitting, like, dropping
Yeah, I
gems,
know.
like a little sprinkle, little nourishments, like.
You know, I can't look, I'll be laughing. I'm sick.
I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. All right, so let's get into these couple more of these questions because you know us, we just be talking in
So
a whole vibe, you know.
listen,
So,
and I'm loving your hair, by the way.
really, thanks. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep it in until after the kids party.
But yeah,
All
I'm
right.
sorry. We
No,
all
no,
off
no, it's
subject.
okay. You know, mommy moments. We gotta talk about our children. You know.
Absolutely. Our babies is about to be one.
it, and let's just take a moment to just breathe that in. Like we didn't took care and took care of and brought this baby through a whole year while trying to get ourselves together. Like, and look, we both here. Look at you all glowing and stuff. Like,
Listen, we both glowing. You know what
I
I'm
know I'm
saying?
finally, and that's why it's so important with the whole finding yourself, like adjusting to your new normal, like adjusting to motherhood. Like of course, motherhood is going to be a big part of your life, but you gotta be able to find the balance between motherhood, yourself, and going after your dreams. And that's what a big thing of what I'm working on. So I'm finally feeling like I'm in a position where I can do all these great things and being okay with being vulnerable and allowing other people to see that I don't have it all together, cuz other people be like, "Oh, how you do it? You're such a great mom and look at your babies and this," and that's good and it's a motivation for sure. Like I really like hearing that because I really enjoy being a mom, but then also I need to show people the behind the scenes of it all when I'm frustrated and when, like, you know, I just don't feel like it. When sometimes sometimes Ryan won't get a bath. Like I'll give her a bath tomorrow cuz I'm tired. Like she's the best, like she really is. But I'm just saying sometimes you don't feel like it. The whole cleaning thing after two kids is a lot. So sometimes the house is looking a mess. I got to be okay with that sometimes, you know, and not get so stressed out and overwhelmed like look at my damn house and I can't think straight, like you know that's just another task that I gotta do and you gotta do that shit every day, so it's just like
Yeah.
showing people what it is for real, like you know.
So what you're first, I need you to breathe.
I know, right? I get that's what I'm
And then I also need you to extend the grace that you give to people,
saying.
give it to yourself. And that's
Exactly.
something that I had to learn in this season. Give yourself grace. You are being the best damn mother that you are going to be. You hear me? In this moment. So, whatever it is that you're feeling, you are allowed to feel it. You're allowed to vent. And guess what? You're doing a damn good job of it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that us as mothers, we need to hear this shit.
No,
You
it
know,
feels
because
so good, you know,
it,
like
we need to feel it and we need to hear it because guess what you're doing, you are working, you are busting yourself, you videography, reels, everything, you're doing this for your children at the end of the day. And you're like, dang, I want people to see these moments. I want people to see these moments where I'm frantic and I'm this, that, and the third. Because social media has really placed this persona of just good living.
mhm.
No, I was in labor for 49 freaking hours from Wednesday to Friday. My water broke on a Wednesday, and I had my daggone baby at 10:12 p.m. on Friday. And it was crazy. I had freaking black eyes. And guess what? Whenever I pushed that baby out, it was nothing. I didn't even think about how long I was in labor. I would just thought about my baby. And that's
Mhm.
just the way it goes. We go through that labor pain to prepare us for our day-to-day life with our children. Our children isn't always going to make great decisions. Our children is going to mess up stuff and knock down waters and spill stuff on our clothes, and we're going to have leaking boobs and walking around. One
Listen,
boob is
tell it
smaller
all.
than the other boob.
Tell it all. Saggy boobs after
Listen,
you breastfeed and like.
Listen,
we got the baby pouch, we got the beauty marks, but listen, all of that, look at what we made though. Like, cause at the end of the day, have you made a human? Oh, don't talk to me until you made your own human. Then you can, you
say
know,
something. Just maybe say a
exactly.
little
And just
something.
put a little touch in there. But at the end of the day, it's still not what I went through, because we all grow through our own. It's just in certain ways we're able to connect the two of, oh, you had a baby, I had a baby. And now me and you, we're strongly connected because our babies is on the same day.
Day,
So
listen.
we both was going through it at the same time and didn't even
At
know
the same dang time. No, but it's a real life thing, and we have to just give ourselves grace, Mama. We got to give ourselves grace,
So I
girl.
had my coaching group last night. No, 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 on Tuesday, and it
Hmm.
was through a Zoom call, and they could just see on my face because I don't do well with facial expressions. Like you could see it all in my face. No poker face for me. But like they just saw it, and then I was able to like just tell like how I really felt about like motherhood has been kicking my butt, like, and I said I had that real like motherhood got me, or mommy life got me in a headlock, because it does, sometimes it is like really hard, especially as a single parent. But then like when I'm finally able to vent, and people can understand, and you know when I get that encouragement, like I was over there crying because like so many people were pouring into me, and then they see y'all are on the outside looking in, so like y'all perception, i I love being able to see that, because sometimes it's hard for you to see that because you're in here, like, the inside out, so like y'all being able to see me and seeing how I am as a mom and how I continue to show up and continue to try and stuff, for you to voice that to me like you just said, like it's important that we need to hear that, that we need to continue to align with other women on different things that they need help growing through, because we all think that we're alone in this, and at the end of the day we're not. We all grow through similar situations, and we need to start being able to share that with each other and feel safe and feel seen. So you
Feel
just doing all
supported.
that, yes, it really helps me, and it's like, you know what, I know for sure, at the end of the day, I know for sure I'm a good mom.
Yeah, yeah, you are a great mom, and I think that we have moments in our life where we have to say that we're enough.
Hmm.
We're enough
Those
for this
affirmations,
situation.
they really, and then you got to believe
Yes.
that, like you got to say like I am enough. What if I am enough in this moment? Like I am enough. Who I am right now, I don't need to be anything else but me in this moment, and I'm okay with that. I just want to continue growing, continue to make myself even better than what I am right now. Be
And
continue striving to
evolve.
be, yes, my favorite version of myself. Like not the best, but my favorite version of myself. So I like having that notion, and it has been getting me through, and now I feel like I'm able to tackle it all and just continue on and trying to bring whoever I can, like, with me along on the journey. I mean,
And
obviously
I
ain't gonna be the same, but like we can hold hands and you could go on your
Yeah.
journey,
No,
like.
no, and I think that idea is definitely supported. The thing about life is the journey isn't meant to go be alone.
Mm,
That's
exactly.
why we have man and woman. You have man and woman. So women, we have to come together and start supporting each other in times like this. We have to check up on our sisters, say, how you doing, sis? No, how you really doing? You
Mhm.
saying you okay, but your eyes is telling me that you're not.
In them
So let's talk
bags,
about it.
them
You know what I'm
bags.
saying? We have to really tap in and tune in,
Mhm,
because motherhood is the best hood. You know what I'm saying? And then it's the most trying hood,
mhm.
because you got to pick between your livelihood and your motherhood all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, the reality of it. and it's mentally draining too. You have mentally draining days, and there'll be days where you being a mom all day, and then you go and you like, oh well, you have this project to do, and you really have to muster up this faith and the ability to do it because you drain. And so, me not being a mom for 29, 30 years, I didn't never understand the mental exhaustion that comes with being a mom. Even though it's mentally exhausting, it is such a blessing, it's such a
Rewarding,
reward at the
yes.
end of the day,
You just
because
look at them like, wow, like I really
what you put into your children is what you get out. And that's one thing that I stand firm on. If you have your baby in front of the TV all day, that's what your baby's going to produce and be. And when you actually are sitting there, stay at home mom such as myself, and you're trying to teach sign language and you're doing all this stuff, and there are you trying to get your baby to stop eating the boob and eat some real food, and the throwing the food down, and it can be
getting in stuff.
overwhelming
Ryan, she puts everything in her
in
mouth.
her
I gave her
cavity.
a tag just to play with. This girl took a bite of it. Like, and now I
Yeah.
gotta like get. I'm changing her, so I can't dig my hands in her mouth after. Like Ryan, like
Yeah, and they poop it out.
oh,
My son, he eats everything.
she
He
just had
literally,
a
it might
ceiling
be,
in her diaper. Like I'm like, what is that shining? All right, Ryan. So
they eat everything. Cardboard. Like my son, he loves to put even. He's got this thing with paper, paper. Anything that looks like. So I've been trying to give him like coconut, dry coconut,
okay.
because it looked like paper.
Uh-huh.
But
You
he
like
don't
it?
want that. He
No.
don't want. But he want paper. But that's what we deal with.
Exactly, exactly. So, all right, is there any advice that you will want to give to other Black women growing through their journeys? And especially moms, since I feel like this segment today was a lot of mommy focus, but it needed to happen. So, is there any advice that you want to give other mamas out there?
Um, advice. Um, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Have grace. Give yourself grace. Know that you're not alone in this. You know, listening to this podcast, you should know that there's a support system, a support group that you can go to and that you can reach out to. We are we are we are all women, and we all have been through postpartum of some sort, whether yours was extreme, whether yours was mild, whether yours was easy. We've all been through it, and it's worth it. And what you're doing is great. Keep doing it. Keep growing. Keep unlearning things that no longer serve you, even if it hurts. Listen, ladies, you have to create boundaries. If you cannot do it, if it's mentally exhausting, put a boundary in place so that you can mentally recharge, refresh. Isolation for some is needed, and that's okay.
Mhm.
Isolate yourself so that you can get yourself back onto where you feel as though it's best for you to be a mom. In the last segment, I had said, in order to have a masterpiece, you first have to master your own piece. And you have to be able to master peace from within. Peace is something that no one can give you but yourself. No one can buy you peace. You have to instill that, and you have to figure out what it is that your peace means, like what peace means to you. Just like success, what does success mean to you? Success for Shanell is totally different from my success for myself. you know where someone says I'm goals, I'm maybe saying their goals.
Mhm.
So you have to really figure out what it is that you want for yourself. And the last thing, ladies, be kind to your womb. WOMB. Be kind to your womb. Your womb is your intuition. Your womb is what holds your children. Your womb is what holds a lot of your secrets and your sacred self. So you have to be kind to it and you have to nourish it. You have to talk to it so that you can release anything that's not good, any energy that's bad, and be kind to yourself when it comes to fear because we all have fear. We just can't allow it to get in the driver's seat to control us.
Yes, and we can do that whole instead of fake it till you make it, face it till you make it.
Period.
Mic drop. Oh, we did
We're
that.
sickening.
Our listeners connect with you? Like, how can we get all up in your business? Like, how can we?
You can get up in my business. Follow me at Kodak Styles underscore KODAKSTYLEZ
Okay.
underscore. The page without the underscore is actually my hair page. I'm currently sticking to my guns and just, I'm doing the clients that I have currently, but I'm not accepting any new clients right now. I'm just really just focusing on my son. I'm staying at home. I'm not rushing it. I don't have to. God has blessed me with an amazing husband who financially can support and mentally provide and
Telling
emotionally
you, I'm gonna get
support.
like you
So
when I grow up. I'm gonna be like you. I'm gonna get my husband eventually. Husband, if you're out there, listen, it's about to be us. We're about to be, getting it.
period. Period.
Yes.